My name is Hannah Jinkle, and this is my presentation on white teachers in diverse classrooms. During this presentation, we will discuss what exactly makes a classroom diverse, why diverse classrooms matter, what's the issue with a white teacher, and how we can make changes. Webster's dictionary defines diverse as differing from one another or composed of distinct or unlike elements or qualities. NDT Resource Center says that having a diverse classroom simply means recognizing that all people are unique in their own way. There are many ways a classroom can be diverse. We can have various learning styles, we can have various religions, races, abilities. So to define a diverse classroom, it is a classroom full of variety. For this presentation's purpose, we'll be referring to the various cultures and ethnicities of students in the classroom. Okay, so why is diversity in the classroom so important? What is it about diverse classrooms that everyone is so obsessed with? Diversity in general is important for a multitude of reasons. One thing I personally love about the diversity we face in just our day-to-day lives is that every single person we interact with has something we can learn from. Every person you ever come across knows something you don't know. Diversity in culture, religion, ethnicity is a perfect example of a way to learn those new things from someone else, and where better to do that than in the classroom. Diversity in the classroom is important because we can share our experience and thoughts as they relate to who we are and connect those ideas back to what it is we're learning. When we share our experiences, we're not only allowing others to see a little preview of who we are, but also giving others an opportunity to learn about our culture and where we come from. Especially as students, you're learning who you are and what kind of person you'll become. The more exposure we have to the various cultures, or even exposure to what it is our own ethnicities, cultures may be, through learning from our peers, the stronger we become in knowing exactly who we are and where we come from to carry that knowledge and pride into our adult lives. We also benefit in our adult lives from culture being connected in the classroom simply because when something relates to ourselves, we're more likely to listen and want to be a part of what's going on. And that's just human nature. We're almost selfish in that sense that we like to talk about ourselves. We like to see how is this conversation, how is this lesson going to benefit me? So when we connect to the content we're interested in, and when we aren't connecting to the content, we have no desire to immerse ourselves in that lesson, and as a result, students may miss out on skills they might need as an adult.
You come and live in my neighborhood for 1 week, and then you tell me if you got a choice.
So what's the problem with white teachers in diverse classrooms? Is the problem that they're white? No, not entirely. The problem is that they're privileged and white, that they're coming into these Title I extremely diverse, heavily urban schools as first-year teachers because they'll jump at any school hiring. I can vouch for this firsthand. Being a first-year teacher, I applied and interviewed at many schools where I knew I wasn't prepared for the struggles I would face, but was willing to say yes to anyone who offered. The issue is that first-year teachers are not prepared for what comes with teaching not only in urban school settings, but in diverse classrooms. In almost every reading so far this semester, the level of preparedness coming out of college has been a topic. These student teachers are not being prepared for the cultures they will face or trained in how to incorporate these cultures into their classroom every day. So, okay, you're white, you grew up poor, you fit in with and understand the low socioeconomic status students. That's perfect. So how are you going to connect with the students who are poor but also don't have parents who speak English? Or the students who aren't poor necessarily but practice a strict religion that affects their daily routines? How do you connect with the African American child with all the same struggles you had growing up, but it's different simply because they're black? Can we connect with these students? Can we give them a space where they can come as they are and they will be safe? Can we understand that our definition of on time for a class and the culture of a student says on time are a little bit different? Neither of you are wrong, but who's right and how do you decide? There's so much to think about in teaching in a diverse classroom, and as a white teacher who has only experienced a white lifestyle, you are not prepared. And it's not only white teachers, it can be any teacher of any race that can have these struggles. But I think the issue comes up for white teachers so often because that's the majority of the teacher workforce. And the reason for that, as we've read, is that African American or other minority students aren't being encouraged to enter education as a career, mostly because of the experiences they had as a child, not feeling connected to their learning or not feeling capable of what they can do.
So what you're saying is, if the Latinos weren't here, or the Cambodians, or the blacks, or the whites, or whoever they are, if they weren't here, everything would be better for you.
Lady, stop acting like you're trying to understand our situation.
Why don't you explain it to me?
So how can we make sure that our teachers are being culturally responsive and inclusive to their diverse groups of students? The easiest way to nip this issue, or at least minimize it a bit for the future, would be simply to train our teachers on diversity and how to incorporate it. And I don't mean to train our teachers who have been teaching for 30 years already. Of course, they need this education just as much, but many are set in their ways. That would require a PD of some sort throughout the year for all teachers, which should also be included in your school's plan for your PDs. But I think we should learn from our mistakes and begin to train our future teachers while they're studying in school. Every single education class should have a component of diversity, because every single class you'll ever teach will involve diversity in some form. Once you're in the classroom, talk to your students. Build relationships deeper than just Jimmy likes football. What traditions does Jimmy's family keep up? What can Jimmy teach us about his family and his culture? I love the idea of having show and tells maybe once a week. One student can present their family and the things that make their family unique. And as you learn about each child and their culture, you can gear instruction to connect to who they are. Also, as you learn about their various cultures, you can learn about the different quirks that culture may have, so that you can be aware of those when working with your students. Simple things such as eye contact or body language can vary so much from culture to culture, and you want to be aware of those things so that you can respond accordingly when different situations arise. Another thing I like to do with my students is figure out where they live and do a drive-by. See what their neighborhood is like, their home, their life outside of school. You can even pick a bus and ride it with your student, explore their neighborhood while you get that precious quality time with the student. This will give you a small insight to what their life looks like when they're not with you, and makes the student feel like $1 million that you want to take time out of your day to just kind of hang out with them. Ultimately, a white teacher in a diverse classroom can be done in a positive way. It's important to remember that being white is not the problem, but seeing white is. What I mean by that is it's okay to be white. It's not okay, however, to see things only through your white eyes. Open your eyes. Put yourself in the shoes of those different from you. Step out of your comfort zone. Immerse yourself in other lifestyles. There is so much to learn from those around us if we're only willing to listen, and the benefits for our students are endless.
All you gotta do is get their attention.